Hey guys, how we doing today? Welcome to Freyguys Kitchen. Today we are making a chicken fried steak with mashed potatoes and gravy and some green beans. And I'm basing this recipe off of Alton Brown's recipe that he did on a show called Good Eats. He was also on Iron Chef and a bunch of other Food Network shows. Everything I've ever cooked that guy made is pretty damn tasty, so we're gonna give it a shot tonight. So what we got here is we got an egg, just some beaten egg and some flour, and we've got some beef round steak that is already tenderized. If you get it and it's not, but most stores nowadays will already tenderize it for you. You just get a jacquard, which I have a small version of one of those right here. And so those just, basically stab the shit out of your meat a bunch of times. My dad's got a really big one, which is pretty handy, but they do the trick. And basically what you're doing is you're just separating a lot of the connective tissue in the meat and making it much more tender. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna season the meat just with some salt and pepper on both sides. And we've already got our potatoes peeled and cooking in the water. And while we're doing this, it's playoff weekend, wild card weekend for anybody who watches football. My boy Jeff with Clapboard Video, who does my editing, he is watching the game. We have the game on right now, and we are currently watching the Steelers-Browns game. And it's a pretty interesting game because some of you may not give a shit about this, but the Browns are winning by 2 touchdowns already, and it's pretty exciting. Jeff's probably pissed that I'm even doing this video while watching the game, but sorry, buddy. I'm representing the Bears today. Unfortunately, we lost. My wife's from the area, so pretty much makes me a Bears fan as well. Next weekend, though, Chiefs, baby. That's what's up. All right, so we got the meat seasoned. So what we're gonna do is we will dip the meat into the egg, then into the flour, then into the egg, and then into the flour. Excuse me, into the flour, into the egg, into the flour. Got it backwards. All right, so a little dippy dip, or dredge as they say. I'm a big fan of this meal. I like, that kind of comfort food, down home cooking. I really like the gravy. We're gonna make some gravy tonight. I really like that as well. And then we're gonna lay these out on just a drying rack, basically a cooling rack, and we'll let that sit there for about 10 minutes or longer, really, because I gotta keep an eye on those potatoes. And if it's gonna take longer, it takes longer. Not a big deal if it sits a little bit. And fun stuff. I forgot to hit record on the other camera that was sort of filming me do all the stuff with the meat, so use your imagination. So the potatoes are kind of finished cooking. And I think I've cooked mashed potatoes on here before, although that might have been one of the other videos I really screwed up and couldn't show you guys. I really can't remember. So, nevertheless, I'll show you again. All right, so I cooked. Basically, what I do is I just today I used Idaho potatoes. I usually like to use gold, but I used just regular Idaho potatoes. Peeled them up, cut them up into sections, and then I've cooked them for about 30 minutes or so, ish. Really until they're nice and soft, so that you can easily mash them. And then I just go to town on them like this. Yeah, mashed potatoes are pretty easy to make and pretty darn tasty, if you ask me. I actually kind of prefer my mashed potatoes slightly lumpy. Not lumpy like uncooked lumpy, but just, you don't have to be whipped. But if you choose to, if you like your mashed potatoes super whipped and creamy, then do this and then add the ingredients I'm going to add, and then use a hand mixer and go bananas. All right, so we got that. We're gonna cut some butter, throw that in there. Throwing about 2 tablespoons of butter in there. By the way, I used 2 Idaho potatoes tonight. I don't know why I just threw that in the sink. You know, good for me. So, add a little bit of milk, and I usually just, you know, add so I think the consistency is right. As I've mentioned before, a lot of cooking, for me at least, is, you know, you just do it by feel. You can sit there and measure if you want. And if you're really not what you would consider to be a great cook or anything, not that I think I am, but if you don't think you're a great cook and you're not comfortable with it, then definitely follow the recipe. I don't have a recipe for you on this one, but you know, Google's a pretty amazing thing. You can find just about anything on there, and I'm sure you'll be able to pretty easily find a recipe for mashed potatoes. We've got a different angle now. This is new. And I actually remember to turn the other camera on to watch the stove. And so we're gonna try this out. So I'm gonna get the green beans going. So I got a little bit of butter going in here. So I like to cook the green beans in some butter. Probably add a little beef broth and do that. It's a good idea. Don't overcook your green beans and turn them all mushy. Still like my green beans still kind of crisp. So let's get these steaks going. All right, you don't want to overcrowd your pan, so just kind of lay that bad boy in there. So we're gonna do 2 at a time. I've got it on like medium plus, not medium high, but like just slightly above medium. And the recipe calls for about 4 minutes on each side. Okay. Put a little pepper in there. A little bit of salt. Throw a little garlic in there. Garlic powder. A good measure. Toss that around. .702, almost time to flip. Okay, so we've got the chicken fried steak done. It's in the oven. Now we've got a pan left with the good stuff. And so we're gonna make some gravy. So I actually have about 2 tablespoons of flour, which I did kind of measure that out. So we're gonna kind of get that stirred in to this oil and steak goodness. Make a little roux. I'm gonna throw some butter in there too, just like a tablespoon. Going. We're going to want to add some milk. Once this has had a chance to thicken up a little bit and darken up. So, I'll be honest, I have not made gravy in my skillet in quite a while. I just forget how damn hot these things can get. I'm not gonna lie, it tastes pretty damn good. Exactly what we need for this meal. Okay, so I'm gonna switch places with my green beans and my mashed potatoes. And we're gonna warm these up just a touch. So we're just gonna pour a little bit of beef broth back in there. Kind of stir this up a little bit. All right, so there you have it. Got some chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes and gravy, and some green beans. Hope you enjoyed it. Check me out on Instagram at Freyguys Kitchen. You're watching me here on YouTube. Appreciate it. Share with your friends and enjoy. See ya.